Yeah.
We are good to go. Chat lines are open.
Nice.
Yeah, what a milestone, man. Celebrating 1,000 subscribers.
All right, so what are we at now? 1006?
1006.
Badass.
Yeah, we're just waiting for everyone to come in and join us today. So,
Dude, if I had to tell you the Team USA Australia game yesterday, who was the leading scorer of the entire game, who would you think that it was?
probably not somebody from Team USA.
We will tell you who that is, and there's a tie to San Antonio when it comes to it.
You know, that's Team USA had a scare yesterday too. So, we'll talk about that as well.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a cakewalk for them. There's a lot of good international players. I dare I'll go out on a limb and say, I don't think Team USA is going to make it into that gold medal round in the Olympics, man.
Wow. You want them with the field. Windhorse said something interesting about that on ESPN. He goes, these guys don't realize 6 minutes. You have a 6-minute cold stretch, you're dead.
Yep. You're done, man.
Yeah.
Trying to get the angle. Good morning, Chris Gonzalez. Good morning, Sam Salinas, Sid Elias, Jesse A. What's up, brother? Viva la France, Jesse A.
Welcome to another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
What's up, San Antonio? What's up, South Texas? This is the Alamo City Sportscast coming at you from San Antonio, Texas. We are very excited today. My name's Mike Jimenez. That is Joe Garcia. We did it, Joe. We did. We all did. Not just you and me. Everyone. Not just Steph and Fernandez and Brandon. It is everybody. All the listeners helped us out, and we made that push yesterday. Called my shot.
Yeah.
We needed 12 that morning. By the time the show started, it was 10 away. And I was like, we're going to get this not at the end of the week, not at the end of the month. We're going to get it done today. And everyone pulled through. Badass. We are now 1,006 subscribers strong. We're now 994 away from 2,000.
2,000. And, shout out to the haters, too, because we have haters, right, that follow us.
Yeah.
They subscribe to us. And they dime themselves out because, they're like, that's fake news. And then I go back to the subscriber count to look, right? And they drop us down to 999.
Right.
And I'm like, well, refresh. I know you're hating, but refresh. And once you hit refresh, then you see we made it 1001. And I thought it's comical, man.
And it's great because, we have haters, as you said, and guess what? The haters listen to us the most.
Yeah. And after we hit over 1,000, they probably subscribed again.
They probably did. Went back to 1,006, which was amazing.
We appreciate all the faithful that have helped us get here and the haters as well. We appreciate y'all subscribing. Yeah. I did have a little video for us real quick. It's just a couple seconds.
Sure.
Long.
That's right. 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Get the fireworks out there.
Fireworks going, man. 1,000.
Now, it means a lot. It means we can monetize the show.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things is that now YouTube gets to pay us for our content. We are now officially, Joe, content creators, paid content creators by YouTube. I mean, it's not going to be like paying the bills or anything, but still, they'll cut us a piece on some of things. And if you want to cut us a piece, QR code on the top left, you can also send us a super chat. And if you want to be part of the show, leave us a comment. The best ones get read out. But, it's funny because yesterday was fantastic. We had 1,000. And it was weird. We kept hitting refresh, right, Joe? Yeah. 994, 995. And we text each other, 995. And then someone would text me going, I got somebody to subscribe. And, again, we want not only subscribers, but we want viewers and followers and listeners to take part in this show. But we do this Monday through Friday from about 10 to 11:30. And this is our way to kind of fill the gap of local sports talk radio, which goes dark from 10 to 2 when it comes to local programming. But
yeah, look at it. Elias says, congrats on 1K. He said him and Brandon had technical difficulties yesterday as they did their wrestling spaces, but they pulled through. He says we'll be making their spaces every Monday. So we want to go ahead and give them a shout out because they are part of the network and they're doing their thing.
Badass.
And look at this, Sam Salinas. France getting gold. If y'all put $10 down.
Hey, 14-1 odds, man. 14-1 odds. So this is very, very exciting. Lots to get into today, Joe.
Yeah.
You know, Fergie is now off the hot seat. Okay, the worst renditions of the national anthem. Everyone has always said Fergie. Whoa. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Going to be honest. Maybe it's because she was hot. I didn't think Fergie's national anthem was that bad. I mean, it was bad, but it wasn't god awful. It wasn't Carl Lewis awful. It was just bad.
Yeah.
But I liked it because she was hot while she was doing it. But again, she's off the hot seat. Now another singer has the title of worst rendition of the national anthem.
It's not Roseanne Barr.
Roseanne Barr, Carl Lewis, right?
Yeah. Man.
We're going to get into my daddy, Skip Bayless, stepping down from FS1 in pretty soon. Not yet, but he's going to be stepping down.
Jeez.
You know,
Matt Gomes was even saying that was so damn bad last night.
It was awful.
It was awful, dude.
It was awful. We'll get into the fact that Bronny James continues to struggle.
Oh, did you hear Jaylen Brown was talking about him, dude, during the game? With
I know.
Rays?
They were trying to read his lips.
Yeah.
They're trying to read his lips. And speaking of struggling, Team USA, don't get me wrong, they got the win, but they did not cover the spread against Team Australia.
Shaky ground, brother. Shaky ground.
Dude, the person who had the most points in that game is hysterical. We'll get into that. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler came out with the top 10 quarterbacks for this year. And it brought up the question, and I have a poll on this on Twitter at MJ Acquired Taste.
I saw that.
Dak, Jalen Hurts, choose your fighter. Who's the better of the two? And, you know, was it insulting where ESPN placed Dak Prescott? You know, there was an assassin who tried to kill Donald Trump. The only thing he killed, aside from that awful bystander that was right there, he also killed Jack Black's tour.
Jeez. Tenacious
D is now canceling the rest of their concert, partially because of what happened and the reaction of it. So we'll get into that as well. Paige Spironic is making news again. Is it possible that she has a doppelganger? Goodness, man, a doppelganger for Paige Spironic. So we'll get into that too. And then also there's a new movie coming out this weekend that Joe and I are going to watch tonight. We're going to get
we're going to watch that tonight, man.
Twister 2. How excited are you?
Twisters.
For Twister. Is it called Twisters? Twister 2 or whatever that is coming out. Dude, that first Twister, I was super excited about, man. That's a movie that I watch a lot. It was the first movie ever out on DVD. Again, Twister going to be coming out. The sequel, finally, some 30 years later, is going to be coming out this weekend. Joe and I are going to get a sneak peek when it comes to it all. So, Joe Garcia producing today's show. My name's Mike Jimenez. We're going to go for about an hour and a half today. What do you say we get going with the national anthem?
Oh, God.
And I feel bad for this girl, man. You know, last night was the home run derby, and it is difficult to sing the national anthem. I don't know if you've ever tried it. I mean, I know that we go to Spurs games and, you know, you bow your head, you take off your cap and you hand to the heart, you sing the national anthem. It is said that is actually one of the hardest songs to ever sing.
It is, man. You got to have some range to sing that song.
And there is a singer named Ingrid Andress who's from Michigan. She is a country singer from Michigan, and she went out there to try to perform a rendition of the song, and she was not doing good at all, man. There was not one moment in that song where she was in key, not one moment where she appeared confident. Dude, she was out there sweating bullets, and you could tell halfway through the song, she did not want to be out there.
Not at all, man. Hey, we have somebody on the line real quick that just wanted to make a quick call in.
Very nice. We got a surprise guest.
Got a surprise guest.
Who do we got?
Who do we got on the phone?
What's good, fellas?
Christopher Leija.
What's going on? Christopher Leija from MCS General Contracting. What's going on, my man? Dude, thank you for being part of the show and also sponsoring the show from the get-go. Dude, from the jump, when we had only 100 subscribers, you were there. Now we're at 1,000. Thank you so much for helping us get there.
For sure, man. You know how it is. You know how we do. We got to support each other. We got to help out, when we can, how we can. So, you know, you guys got to 1,000, so now we got to get to 10,000.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I mean?
what did you say when we get to 1,000? What we're gonna do? We're gonna celebrate.
Gonna get a dunk tank. Yeah, we got a dunk tank. And we're gonna celebrate. So
I
don't
keep
worry,
on seeing that. I keep on seeing that about a dunk tank.
Remember way back when we said when we hit 1,000, you're gonna go in the drink. You said you would do it for charity, though.
Yes,
dude.
Yeah.
This was like I want to say this was like August when August September when it was first. You know, you guys were just getting at it.
Yeah.
You know, y'all were getting the ball rolling, and I think I had told Jimenez, I was like, yeah, dude, we got to get a dunk tank because you got all these people that just don't like Jimenez, and they for charity purposes figured we need a dunk tank. We charge $5 or
$10 a throw.
Yeah. Well, we said we could give people the opportunity to just buy to go up there and push the dang button.
Yeah.
So, but that was going to be a little bit more expensive. But yeah, man.
So is this going to be at a bar? Are we going to be doing this at Rosedale Park? Where's this going to be, man?
We got to find a spot, dude. But I know our boy over at Mad Peckers, he was game for it, man. The owner.
Yeah.
He said, bring the peeps, man. He goes, we got a place out back that I can set up for you guys. Put the dunk tank out there. We have a little barbecue.
Hey, they got good food and got good drinks.
They do.
So
they do. But this is one of those things where I agreed to do it like months ago. Isn't there like a statute of limitations?
No.
None.
No. See,
No.
Here's the thing, man. In my world, in the world of construction, when a man says they're gonna do something, they do it. They stick to their word.
It is that diamond hard commitment that we're looking at there.
Right.
Hey,
That's
well,
right. Hey,
we'll have
we only got two things in this world. We got our word and our balls. Nobody.
Hey, we'll have the diamond hard sponsor here, MCS General Contracting.
Fine,
They're
I'll
going to
do
be
it.
sponsoring the balls that we're going to throw at you, man.
I'll do it. You don't throw eggs. I don't care.
Eggs. Oh,
I don't care. If it's for charity, for a good cause, we got to find one.
Yeah, we got to find one.
We have to find one.
Yeah, but Leija said he was also going to donate, was it a $150 gift card to Burger Boy?
Well, now you said 150. Now I gotta do 150.
Oh, was it 100? I'm sorry.
Let's do 150. You know what? Let's do
Damn.
150.
Nice.
I'll throw down a $150 gift card to Burger Boy. You know I ain't gonna do Whataburger. You know how I feel about that.
No, bro.
So yeah, $150 gift card. We'll get it. We'll get it picked up this week. We'll get it to you guys whenever you guys, if y'all want to do the giveaway, in person or y'all, however y'all want to do it, just let me know, and we'll throw in an MCS hat in there too.
Look, they still haven't forgotten that you and Mike still have to have that foot race, man.
Oh, I know.
And the foot race and the celebrity box match, man. We have to get it done for the people, man.
There you go.
Mike, you busy, man.
Tex-Mex Frank, by the way, reaches out and says, "Congratulations, gentlemen. Remember, he also has 2 caps to give away."
Thanks, Tex-Mex
Hashtag
Frank.
Texican.
Yep.
Very nice. Sam Salinas excited that I mentioned Rosedale Park. If you know, you know. Rosedale Park. Rosedale Park, man. If you know, you know.
Hey, look at this. For Leija, Sith Elias says he wants to call in to sing the national anthem. No mames, dude.
No mames, bro. Hey, so who did it? Who did it worse though? The girl from last night or Fergie?
Dude, Fergie was fine because she was hot when she did it. Now, don't get me wrong. Ingrid Andress was a bit of a nugget, but Fergie, at the very least, was sexy when she was trying and failing. Ingrid Andress looked over there like Fergie. Yeah, her rendition sucked. Fine. It sucked. But she had confidence, baby. She was going for it. She thought she was doing good. She knew she was looking good. And she just kind of went down in flames. That's fine, right? Confidence, baby. Ingrid Andress yesterday, halfway through the song, was looking around like a deer in headlights. Her knees buckling, her voice shaking. And she was hiding from the crowd. And it's one of those things where Remember the Naked Gun? Enrico Palazzo.
Oh, yeah.
The guy, when Frank Drebin was singing the national anthem, even that was better than Ingrid Andress yesterday.
So what you're saying is that whenever you karaoke, you have the same energy Fergie has, right? You don't care how you sound. You're going to own it.
I'm going to own it, baby. I'm going to own it.
I like your confidence.
Whether it's good or bad, that's subject for debate, but man, let's take a look at photos of this woman yesterday.
All right, let's show it.
Her name is Ingrid Andress, and I feel bad for her. By the way, she can't be that bad of a singer because she has been nominated for 4 Grammy Awards. 4 Grammy Awards. So it's one of those things where she's obviously good at what she does.
just wasn't her night. That's all it is, man.
Yeah, we're gonna hear that she was sick. We're gonna hear something like that because it's not like she didn't know what song she was gonna be singing. It kind of felt as though she was like forgetting the words. It kind of felt like she just didn't have any confidence when she went out there. 4-time Grammy nominated singer, and I went on her Spotify page. She has about 4 or 5 songs that have over 100 million listens. So she has some fans out there.
She got some clout, man.
But she's not a big name. She's a mid-tier name. So why did Major League Baseball get her to sing the national anthem? They couldn't get anybody better. I mean, that's the thing.
You could have had a country singer or somebody else that's more prominent singing. Hell, we could have had Chris Leija singing it out there, right, Chris?
I don't know about that, man. I mean, if we're
Doing
doing
a
the
grito?
mariachi style, maybe I'll do it like the one they did for that. Was it Canelo's fight? We do it that way. Maybe I can get it down. You know what I'm saying?
Mexican style. Mexican style.
And here's a photo of Fergie when she was doing the national anthem back in the day at the NBA All-Star game. Dude, she was looking good, dude.
She just didn't sound good.
No,
man.
she sounded fine.
No, bro.
She was just singing the wrong song, man.
She was trying to do this deal with with the chords, or however you want to call it.
Trying to sound like Marilyn Monroe singing to the president back in the day.
She was trying to be sexy with it. And don't get me wrong, the only person that could ever be sexy is oh my God, there's renditions from the 80s that were very sexy, like Al Green type versions of it all. That is what I'm thinking about when it comes to having a sexy version of the national anthem.
God.
Can it ever actually be sexy?
Here's the thing,
Marvin Gaye style.
Think about the female artists we have right now. Who would you pick out of the ones we have right now, current artists, that are popular right now, to sing the national anthem? Because Colombia on Sunday had Karol G come out for them at the game. And I mean, Karol G, just from my eyes, my perspective, goddamn, she a whole dime piece and then some.
I would choose Haley Williams from Paramore to sing it. She can sing anything, and she's a nugget at that.
What about BB Rexa?
Nah, BB Rexa.
Oh, come on.
That's more your style, Joe. You know how
man,
Mike is, man.
No.
Tiene miedo.
Oh yeah, I am scared because she was thick with 2 C's for a good while. Then she became thick with a CK. 2 completely different things, man.
Man, if she pulled up to the bar, no guys wouldn't be looking at her, man.
Hey, real quick, because I was talking to one of my guys earlier. We were talking about something. I don't know how the conversation came up. We were talking about Lainey Wilson.
Yeah.
Is it true that she lost a lot of weight? Because I ain't seen her.
Oh, dude, she has lost like 30, 40 pounds, dude, easily.
He was like, she went from an F-350 dually to she looking like an F-150 now, man. I gotta look up these pictures.
No, man, she's like my Tacoma at this point, dude. Seriously, it's a sad thing, man. I'm gonna pour out a 40 for her later on this weekend, dude.
What about Casey Musgraves? They said they could have got her to sing.
Oh, Casey Musgraves is a dime, dude. That it's funny. We did our baddie brackets
Ice
back in March. We did our baddie brackets back in March. If I had to re-rank them, I think Casey Musgraves is actually a 1 or 2 seed, dude. I think still 1 or 2 seed. But
yeah.
But let's get into some more sports. I mean, yeah, we did have that whole situation going down. But let's get into Bronny James because Bronny James.
I'm gonna say bye to Leija.
All right,
thanks, Leija, man. We appreciate you calling in, brother.
Surprise visit, brother.
Yeah, man, for sure. We'll be in touch, man, for see what we can get figured out for the whole party and the whole giveaway thing.
Yes, sir.
Very nice.
Appreciate you, man. MCS General Contracting, your hardest working man in the business.
Bronny James is struggling big time right now. And what's funny is that I was on Spurs Twitter earlier today, and people were like, lay off of him. Don't be so mean to him. But if you look at his stats, 4 games he's played in the Summer League, Joe. 4 games. 7 for 31 shooting, 22% from the field.
Has he even hit a 3?
He's over 15 from 3. And yesterday's game, he airballed his first 2.
I saw, man.
And when I say that he airballed those shots, it wasn't like, it was almost off the side of the rim. No, he missed the rim by a foot each time.
Oh, man. Look, man. Let's put it in perspective here. What Bronny is, I think Bronny is going to be a role player. He can play defense. He just can't shoot the ball very good from beyond the arc, and that's okay. You don't have to live beyond the arc, but maybe you can forge a way, to be a role player, man.
Bronny will be nothing.
You think so?
the NBA.
Not even a role player
Not
coming off the
not
bench?
even a role player off the
Man,
bench.
dude.
He is nothing. Jaylen Brown said as much on the sidelines of yesterday's game. They're reading his lips, and he's there going, "This guy's not a pro. He's going to be on the Lakers. Why? Because of his dad." And he signed a 4-year deal for $1.9 million a year. 4 years, $7.6 million. And people are like, Bronny James, get off his case, right? He's a young man. Get off his case. No. This guy decided to join the NBA draft. He could have gone to school for another 3 seasons. He decided to enter the draft. He signed a big boy contract. He gets every piece of criticism there. I don't care if his dad's the puppet master behind it all. Bronny James is a grown-ass man making a grown-ass paycheck.
Oh, I understand that, man.
He made a grown-ass decision to leave USC. He could have entered the portal, could have gone to another school. So everything that's coming his way, he's going to get, and he deserves it. Yeah. And the guy has no skills, dude. He has absolutely no skills. This is a guy that in college, I know he had the heart issue, right? But when he was out there, was what? Averaging 4 points per game?
Yeah, not very attractive as far as
he's
the stats.
6'1". He's 6'1", trying to play in the NBA.
Look what Sam Salinas says, man. The more you talk about Bronny, the more he proves he deserves that 4-year publicity contract. Stop it.
Well, no. What does it deserve, though?
Yeah.
He doesn't deserve any. There's not going to be Bronny James jersey sales.
Look at Jesse A. says something. A role player on the Lakers G League team, not a pro.
He doesn't even qualify for a G League team. He's not even a G League talent. That's the thing. I think people believe that if you go to the G League, that means that you're not a good basketball player. We saw Fernandez yesterday talking about Bouye, right?
Yeah, Bouye was a good player, man.
I mean, Bouye played for San Francisco University. He bounced around the NBA. He's going to the G League, trying to get that 2-way contract. Bouye is 100 times
better than
the player
Bronny.
that Bronny James is. 100 times. And you're going to say that they belong in the same league? This guy, why is Bronny James doesn't even deserve to be starting in the summer league? Yeah. Why do they have him as the starter
Lakers
getting 28 minutes?
Lakers are doing it as a publicity
There's
stunt.
No publicity stunt to be had.
They want to have
what
that
benefit
stat.
do you get?
What they benefit do you get? That stat on their team that they have the father and son duo play, the only father-son duo playing on the same team in the NBA. That's about it. I mean, other than that, it's just a gimmick.
Some publicity stunts are worth it. This is one that's not.
Yeah, this one's not.
Because what this does is that it creates, it enforces the narrative about LeBron James. And LeBron James does things for himself, that he has way too much control. That LeBron James is not only the best player on the team and the captain of the team, he's also the coach, he's also the GM, and he's everything in between. He's the marketing director, and now he's the talent scout, right? I'm surprised they didn't use the number 17 pick for him. By the way, Dalton Connect had like 17 points yesterday, right? Looked good as a rookie. But this guy, Bronny James, is not an NBA player. He is 6'1", does not have the skill, does not have the shooting, does not have the handles, does not have the defense. He is not a role player in the NBA. He's not a role player in the G League. He's not a role player in anything. He was not even a role player at USC. And it's not like USC is a blue blood. USC is not Kentucky. It's not North Carolina. It's not Duke. It's not UConn. He was at USC.
Yeah, look at Chris Gonzalez, should I say. He says, Bronny is the most expensive towel waiver.
And you know what? Think about how bad of a dad LeBron has to be in this situation to allow his son to go through this.
Yeah. Hey, we do have some breaking news. I did see this, man. Wanted to go ahead and share this with our viewers right now because I just saw it as you were talking. So here we go. Breaking news. Just saw this across the wire, man. Kobe Bryant's dad, Joe Bryant, dead at age 69, man.
Wow.
You know, that was just released by TMZ, the official TMZ on the X 48 minutes ago. Kobe's dad, again, Joe Bryant, dead at age 69, man.
I can't imagine being a father who loses their son and loses their granddaughter along the way. When Kobe and Gigi passed away,
that's tough.
A few years ago. It's one of those moments where, we talk about things that you'll always remember. 9/11, you'll remember when Selena was shot. This is also one of those things. I remember when Kurt Cobain died, here in the news.
Oh, yeah.
There's certain Challenger explosion, certain things of my lifetime. But the Kobe Bryant one was the first one in my eyes. O.J. Simpson, right? But the Kobe one was the first one in my eyes where there was Twitter. where there was social media all over the place, whether it be Facebook or Instagram.
This was the breaking news on social media.
Yeah. And then you hear the reports, ABC News, Kobe Bryant feared dead in a helicopter crash.
And you're hoping it's a hope
in Calabasas, California. And then you see the fog. Right?
Oh, yeah, man. It's bad.
And it's one of those things. So, rest in peace to Kobe's dad. I mean, it's a tragic thing because the survivors, Kobe's kids that did survive, who are now growing up to be beautiful, intelligent women, have now lost their grandfather. And it's another tragedy within that family. But man, that is very, very, very difficult to hear. But,
all thoughts and prayers with the family at this moment. It's going to be a very hard and difficult challenge that they have ahead of them, losing the patriarch, Kobe's dad, and they also lost Gigi and Kobe as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. So sending prayers to the family.
Let's talk about Team USA basketball, shall we? Team USA basketball taking on Australia yesterday, and looking up their box score because I got to double check this.
Fact check yourself.
I got to fact check myself. Who was the highest scoring player in yesterday's game? 98-92. Team USA beat Australia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who was the highest scoring player on that court that day, that game? Was it Jason Tatum? Was it LeBron James? Was it Steph Curry? Who was it? The answer, scoring 20 points that game, former Spur Jock Landale.
Oh, God, dude.
Jock Landale was 9 for 12 from the field, shot 75% from the field, scored 20 points in last night's loss to Team USA. Also had 7 rebounds and 6 assists. Meantime, for Team USA, the starters didn't do much of anything. Off the bench, we saw some key plays off the bench from Anthony Davis, who went off for 17 and 14. Devin Booker had 16 points. Anthony Edwards, 14. Joel Embiid, 14. LeBron James, only 10. Jason Tatum, only 7. 98-92. So I was watching ESPN early today, and Brian Windhorst was talking about Team USA, saying, look, they were favored by like 17 points last night, and they go on to win by just 6. Now, at no point was it like going to be
a runaway.
Yeah. Team USA always had a good lead, right? But it wasn't like an overwhelming lead. They always had a good lead throughout.
It wasn't
the game.
Like 30 points or nothing.
No, they were up 10, 12, 7, 8, 10, 12. They were around there most of the game.
It wasn't convincing. It wasn't a convincing win.
No. But at no point did I think Australia was going to come back and win because, I mean, they got it within about like 6 with like 5 minutes to go. I mean, and it appeared as though that Australia was making some moves.
They're making a run.
But there's a talent disparity between the two because when Jock Landale is like your best player, on that team, and I know they had Patty Mills starting as shooting guard and Josh Giddey at point guard. This was not a talented team, but to see that Australia could keep pace with them and at least keep it single digits and be within 6 points with 3 to 4 minutes to go, what's going to happen when Team USA plays Canada with SGA? What's going to happen when they play Serbia with Jokic,
or Viva la France,
when you have Rudy Gobert and Victor Wembanyama, and you might think to yourself, well, Gobert sucks. Well, no, the rules are different. The ball hits the rim, you can take it off the rim.
Yeah,
that's nearly 15
Even
feet.
The lane, I think, is a little bit narrower.
It's
too.
narrower. It's more of a trapezoid, and then the length of the court is shorter, and it's not as wide. It is a different ball game. The ball is different.
Yeah.
The rubber that is being used, the grooves being used, the shooting's not there.
American players aren't used to that, man.
Dude, and Brian Windhorst, we can go 2 box real fast.
Yeah.
The Brian Windhorst coming out and saying, Team USA has a 6-minute cold stretch to a good team, to a team like France, a 6-minute cold stretch to Canada. They're going to lose. Derek White did not play yesterday. Neither did Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant nursed an injury.
Look at Sam Salinas says Team USA has no business winning any international game by less than 10. American basketball is quickly going the way of English football soccer. If you know, you know.
Well, I would normally agree, Sam, but if you look at it right now, who are the best players in the NBA right now?
They're all Euro players.
They're all Euro players. You've got Jokic from Serbia. You've got Doncic from Slovenia. Giannis from Greece. Wemby from France. The best players are coming from the international because they treat it as a business. And they also are hyper competitive over there, where you have 15 and 16-year-olds banging bodies with 30-year-olds. They're getting them ready for battle on the basketball court.
Yeah.
NBA, what does NBA do? Let's get our friends together, try to beat up on other teams.
Let's get a cast of characters, the best players that we think that we have that want to play.
Dude, there was an interview a few years ago that John Stockton mentioned about LeBron James, saying that LeBron James is one of the worst things that's ever happened to the NBA, because he says LeBron James doesn't climb mountains. He takes the helicopter up to the top. And the helicopter up to the top is joining forces with Dwayne Wade, joining forces with Kyrie Irving. Kevin Durant did the same thing, joining Golden State as well. They're saying that the basketball mentality right now of American players is, I'm not going to beat those guys. I'm going to join those guys so that they don't beat me.
Yeah, and here's the disparity that you have when you have that way of thinking. So these American players that are selected Team USA, they haven't necessarily gelled or played together for a long period of time, right? They have practice sessions and whatnot. Coaches trying to help them get better. They're trying to build some type of cohesion. When you're going up against these international teams, they've played together for quite some time. They have team chemistry, and I think that shines through on the court itself. And that's a disparity between these international teams and Team USA.
Yeah.
There's just guys that are put together, you know?
And, well, I mean, you're right. The NBA players coming together, they don't know each other's play, but they're supposedly the best athletes at the sport. Because if you look at the athletic prowess of the European players, I mean, how athletic is Luka Doncic? How athletic is Nikola Jokic? They're more cerebral. The American players are the ones that are more athletic. So it's cerebral ball against athletic ball, and the cerebral ball, the high basketball IQ, is winning. And we have another breaking news story, but before we do that, let's give Jeff Garcia some love, because it's involving an article that just dropped on KENS5.com, written by Jeff Garcia.
Locked on Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for KENS 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked on Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G KENS 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow, not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@Locked on Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked on Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah, I subscribe on Spotify and on YouTube. And today's guest is none other than Michael Jimenez. That's right. I'm on today's show. We'll be talking about Stephon Castle and answering some questions that viewers have about the Spurs and about Brian Wright and what the Spurs are doing right now. He dropped an article, Jeff Garcia from Locked on Spurs and KENS 5, dropped an article literally just a few minutes ago about the Spurs and Las Vegas odds makers as to the props involving the Spurs win total. Spurs have won 22 games back-to-back years, but this year picked up Chris Paul, the point guard, as he's called. Going to be 40 years old, but he's on the team. The Spurs got Harrison Barnes, a quality small forward, to take over for Julian Champagnie and improve the three position. Spurs got Stephon Castle, number 4 overall in the draft. We know the Spurs are better. We're going to see a leap from Wemby. We're going to see a leap from Sohan, and hopefully Devin Vassell takes a leap as well. That being said, you and I have debated, Joe, on this show, how many wins do we expect from the Spurs? And DraftKings has come out and has set the over-under at 35.5.
Okay. I had them between 38 and 40.
So you would take the over on that?
Yeah.
I what did I say? I said 36.
Yeah. So you're going to take I think you're going to take the over as well.
I'm right on it. I almost nailed it.
On the cusp.
I said 36 because the Spurs are going to be better, right?
Yeah.
But if you are a 36 win team, you are in the lottery.
You're in the lottery. And the thing is that it gets exciting for Spurs fans, because at some point in the season, there's going to be talk about the Spurs flirting with the play-in. I have no doubt. But they're just not talented enough to get the wins needed to get into the play-in tourney. Not at this time. But it's still nonetheless exciting for Spurs fan, because you're going to go from 23 wins to about 35, 36.
Yeah, 22. Yeah,
it's an improvement.
And at that point, you're basically winning almost every other game, because go 41 and 41. But I'm taking a look at it. What did 36 do last season?
Really not much, unless you're in the East.
In the Western Conference, 36 would have gotten you to number 12, right behind Houston, because you had 10 teams either make the playoffs or go into the play-in tournament, and you needed 46 wins to get there. Houston was on the outside looking in at 41-41. The Spurs would be better than the Jazz, Grizzlies, and what the Spurs were last year, and the Blazers. In the Eastern Conference, 36 wins in the Eastern Conference would have gotten you into the play-in tournament.
No doubt.
Right? So that's basically them saying that they believe that the Spurs are going to be the 10th worst team in the NBA. Or should we say the 20th best?
Yeah, I swear Tavares is your doppelganger, dude. Sohan is the only weakest link in the starting lineup. Can't shoot.
Yeah, well, with Barnes there and Castle there and Vassell there and Wemby getting better, maybe he doesn't have to shoot. That's what we can all hope and pray for. But again, Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 is on there. JHNSB says, pretty sure Mike said 28. I did say 28 up until moves that were made. Again, you have to make changes based on what was there. When they picked up Harrison Barnes, I increased it to 36.
Yeah, if they were going to run the same team back, I mean, expect the same results. But now with Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes, yeah, you expect a little bit more.
Let's get into some football because believe it or not, college football and NFL football are just around the corner. In fact, NFL rookies are already reporting to camp. I know that Dallas Cowboys camp starts next week.
CeeDee Lamb, is he going to be there?
Is he going to be there? Is Dak going to get a contract extension between now and then, or is he going to be told that he's going to be a rental this year?
What's the weather like right now in Oxnard?
Dude, I like how the Cowboys really get their guys prepared by going to Oxnard and that 70-degree weather, right?
It's like 74, 76. Well, you're here in Texas, and it's like over 100 degrees every day.
Oxnard, California, today's high is 72.
Jeez, bro.
72 in Oxnard, California.
Just not fair,
with a low of 61. And that's how they're going to be training, because you know what? We got to get them ready, you know? Cowboys need to get their guys mentally prepared for those games in that 100-degree heat. And you do that by going to 70-degree Oxnard, California, and do 2 days out there.
What are the Houston Texans doing?
Don't they do it in Houston?
Yeah. They're out there in the humidity
in the parking lot.
Dude, they probably don't even have AC because half of Houston's still without electricity.
Yeah.
Because of that damn hurricane, man. You know, and it just seems like that city can't catch a break right now when it comes to turning the lights back on. But even without electricity, I bet you anything, the coaches are going to have them out there in the field and say, you don't need electricity to run. Yeah. Get your ass out on the field. We're going to go ahead and do these 2-a-days. You know, and hopefully they got running water, so at least they got something to drink. But I mean, they're going to be out there sweating in the humidity. Mm-hmm. And Cowboys, what do? They flourish, it seems like, when they're in enclosed arenas, right? Or enclosed stadiums.
Right.
But once they get outdoors, it's a little bit different. Why? Because Jerry likes taking the Oxnard.
Well, yeah, it's just off the question about Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
I mean, is Dak Prescott going to get that extension?
And
all of that stuff. You know, he was in a booth the other day. So I don't know if that means he's going to be practicing right away. But, you know, Dak Prescott, we have to talk about this guy because there's so many different debates as to how good of a player he is. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN every single season releases a ranking of players, right? The top 100 players in the NFL. And they include the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. Dak Prescott last year was second in the MVP vote, right? Lost the MVP vote. He was second in the vote. But what Jeremy Fowler does, when he does the rankings there, he's not doing the rankings based on his own personal opinion. He interviews anonymously 80 executives within the NFL to see what they think about certain players. So that's kind of funny, right? The media saw Dak Prescott as the second best player in the NFL last year. But executives within the NFL don't even consider him to be in the top 5 and nowhere even close to that. So let's get into that. The number 1 quarterback in the league, according to ESPN, is obviously Patrick Mahomes.
I knew it was going to be him.
It's got to be, right?
It's got to be. He's your quarterback, you know, that took you to the Super Bowl.
Now, I'm kind of surprised at who they had number 2 because number 2 was injured most of last year. Joe Burrow of the Bengals.
Really?
I love Joe Burrow. You know, go Tigers, former LSU guy.
When healthy, I think he could be that number 2 quarterback.
Yeah.
He's the quarterback that has beaten Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs.
Yeah, they call Arrowhead Burrowhead.
Yeah.
So number 3, they have Josh Allen, who's very polarizing.
Oh, man. But Interceptions, man.
Josh Allen, if you know how we were trying to say who is Caitlin Clark in the WNBA?
Oh God.
Caitlin Clark is Josh Allen. I was looking for a comparison in the NBA. There is no comparison. Josh Allen will get you the most touchdowns and also the most interceptions and the most fumbles, like Caitlin Clark, who, by the way, in her last game broke the all-time WNBA record for most turnovers in a single season.
Oh man.
With 15 games to go. She's going to obliterate that record. Yeah, she leads the league in assists, or she's one of the top 3 in assists, but she's number 1 by far in turnovers, and that's kind of Josh Allen. Josh Allen's the Caitlin Clark of the NFL.
But it doesn't mean that he's
exciting, but not the best player.
He's not the best, but he's also not the worst.
Yeah.
You know, he can get your team there. And sometimes when they're lucky enough, they get over the hump. They might be in there playing to, hey, maybe we're going to get into the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
You know, but it doesn't seem like they can just get over that hump, you know,
And
for that conference.
It gets so cold over there. It makes it such a difficult way to win, even if it is home field advantage.
Hey, man, but you love the Bills Mafia, man. The
I
tailgates are something to watch.
Jacob Eric reaches out to us and says, the Houston Texans drinking water from the hose.
That's what I'm
Dallas
saying.
Cowboys probably got that bottled water. So who do you think is the 4th best quarterback in the NFL?
Oh, man. 4th best quarterback, man. Jalen Hurts.
Lamar Jackson. Makes sense to me. Lamar Jackson has been MVP a couple of times. He's a very good player. Number 5. Interesting, because again, this is not the media saying this. This is NFL executives, coaches, and scouts. 80 of them interviewed by ESPN anonymously.
Yeah.
Number 5, Super Bowl champion, Matthew Stafford.
Wow. Well,
It's a respect level
okay.
that he's getting. It's a respect level. They're saying, when healthy, this guy is just as good as anybody else with that arm. He's going to beat you with that arm. Now, round out the top 10, Justin Herbert at 6. He's sliding down the rankings. Dude, Justin Herbert might just be a pretty face. He just might be Trevor Lawrence all over again.
I'm interested to see where Purdy's going to come out.
Number 7, Houston Texans, CJ Stroud.
Okay.
Number 8, I disagree with this because the guy's older than dirt. Aaron Rodgers.
No, man. He was injured all of last season. Dude.
Exactly.
Come on.
To say that he's top 10 is nonsense.
Nah, his better days are behind.
I would even say that it's difficult for me to say that Justin Herbert's top 10. He has the talent, but again, do something with that talent. Jared Goff at number 9 makes sense to me. Not only
All right.
he wins, dude. He gets
does win.
teams. He gets teams to playoffs. He gets playoff wins, and his wife is a dime. His wife is the hottest, dude.
No, yeah.
My favorite. And at number 10, Dakota Rain Prescott.
No, man. No.
Okay, so here's the thing. Players that were not listed. Who did you say that should have been listed?
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts, not listed on there. You
They should have
kidding me?
taken Aaron Rodgers out of that and put Hurts in there easily.
Tua Tagovailoa, not listed
Tua?
on there.
No, man.
There's
Purdy?
Brock Purdy, not listed on there. But you're telling me that Justin Herbert, a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers, and
What's that brother's name from Green Bay? Love?
Jordan Love?
Jordan Love? Not even in there?
Yeah.
Come on.
So what we'll do, Joe, I think for tomorrow's show, we'll create our own top 10
Yeah.
because I think that this is ridiculous. I think it's a joke.
Dakota
Aaron
Rain
Rodgers.
Prescott at number 10. The brother can't win the big game, dude.
So I asked the question on Twitter at MJ Acquired Taste. Who would you rather have, Hurts or Dak Prescott? Who's the better quarterback?
I would give me Hurts, man.
73 votes coming in. 56% saying Jalen Hurts. Because Hurts can beat you with the running attack
He can, man.
and the tush push.
He's a physical type of quarterback, you know. Dakota Rain, he runs, dude.
Now we have a guy that reaches out to us named Hiss the Villain saying, wait a minute, isn't Hurts a running back?
Oh my
Justin
God.
says he'll choose the one who single-handedly got his team to the Super Bowl. We know that we'll never see that with Dak in
No.
Dallas.
Never. You will never see Dakota Rain Prescott take the Cowboy squad to the Super Bowl. But here's the disparity with that as well. If he's on another team that has a better cast of character around him, he might be able to take that team to the Super Bowl.
Couldn't you see that happening?
I could.
I could see him taking a Miami team. I can see him resurrecting his career in Vegas.
Hey, I like him in Vegas, dude.
I do too.
With the Raiders.
I
I
do
think he
too.
could do something.
Now, you remember the Packers and were really good back in the day, and the Patriots back in the day,
Yeah.
saying they hate us because they ain't us. Remember that phrase? So we were talking about taking him to the promised land, right? I was watching, I was on Twitter yesterday, and Robert Griffin III, RG3, was pissed off about a lot of things. He basically, I'm trying to find the Robert Griffin III comment, but basically he was saying that he's in support of Deion Sanders in Colorado. And Paul Feinbaum, if you can show my screen. Paul Feinbaum, who has a show on ESPN, SEC Network as well. He covers SEC football. And Paul Feinbaum went after Shadir Sanders, who's the quarterback of Colorado, also the son of head coach Deion Sanders, and said something to the effect of, this is a team that's irrelevant. That Colorado is irrelevant. Why do you keep asking me about Deion Sanders? Why are you asking me about Shadir Sanders? Because right now, if you take a look at the mock drafts of the NFL draft right now, they have Shadir Sanders going top 5, top 10 over players like Quinn Ewers from Texas. And Paul Feinbaum, who's kind of a fiery guy, is like, dude, what do y'all see that I don't see? This team went 4-8. Yes, they got all the ratings last year because it was prime time. It was Deion Sanders going from an HBCU all the way to a Power 5 school, even though that Power 5 school was just Colorado. And what did he do? He went over there and he got rid of all the players and all of their scholarships and told them, y'all have to go find another place to stay. I'm going to bring in my people. People are going to want to come play with me. Goes out there, wins the first 3 games against crappy schools, all the talk. You have ESPN and College Game Day going
Pat
over
McAfee.
There to Boulder.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee out there. And what happens?
Shits the bed.
They wet the bed the rest of the year, went 4-8. And Paul Feinbaum is there going, why does everybody saying that prime time is going to go out there and just resurrect this team? And everyone's like, well, they went from like 1 win to 4. Well, great. But that's still 4-8. They lost twice as many games as they won.
And they play a crappy team, right? That had a bad record just like they did. And it took them to double overtime to barely beat them.
Mm-hmm. So Robert Griffin III, RG3, former Baylor star, former rookie of the year in the NFL back in the day, came out and basically said, look, man, we got to support Deion Sanders, and that Deion Sanders is doing positive things in Colorado and good things are coming. To say that they are irrelevant is not even correct. And meantime, Deion Sanders comes out and basically does the phrase of they hate us because they ain't us, right? And Deion Sanders, I want to like the guy. I do.
JHNSB's calling you out. Said Mike drinking haterade this morning.
So Robert Griffin III said, quote, I vehemently disagree with Paul Feinbaum's criticism of Coach Deion Sanders, Shadir Sanders in Colorado. He called them irrelevant and that they don't matter to college football. That couldn't be further from the truth. Colorado was relevant. They broke TV viewership records last year, even after their 3-0 start. Saw them finish the year at 4-8. They outdrew some of the biggest brands in college football. Their blowout loss to Oregon had 10 million viewers, which topped Notre Dame and Ohio State's game. Goes on to say that they are relevant because people watch them. Now, who is right? Is it relevant because people want to watch him? Now, are people wanting to watch him win? Or do people want to watch him lose?
That's the thing. Deion Sanders is a very outspoken guy, right? So he's made a lot of enemies and he has a lot of haters, no doubt. But one of the things that he can do is the dude can go ahead and give you a speech, man. He's very, what do you call it?
Very fiery.
Fiery when it comes out. He gets you up and ready to go for the game. Like he gets you motivated, and he knows how to speak. When he comes out on these 4-letter networks, everybody wants to interview him. The one thing that Coach Sanders does so well is he makes sure that he pushes that Colorado brand, just like he does his prime shades. He pushes that Colorado brand, and he's always talking about the kids. He's always talking about the program and how much faith he has in them.
Jason Garcia reaches out to us on our YouTube stream saying, so it's all about hype and not winning. I mean, that's
what we saw last season, but this season they could actually be a better team. I'm not saying that they're going to go 8-0 or anything like that.
Now, Midtown Texas coming out saying our boy Gage Goldberg goes to Colorado.
He does.
Keep that in mind. Yeah, he's a freshman trying to be a walk-on this year. Now, Coach Prime did come out and say, God is good, my brother, and they mad. I sense a bit of anger and hostility, LOL. God bless Robert Griffin III for always keeping it 100. That was what Deion Sanders had to say about RG3's comments in support of Colorado's program. Could it be that they're both irrelevant and relevant at the same time? They're relevant in the sense that people watch, but they're irrelevant in the sense that they lose. Because I look at that in the NBA.
But doesn't that make you relevant in the irony of things?
Well, I mean, look at the Cowboys. Remember when the Cowboys, the joke was always on August 8th, it was Cowboy Day. Because it was 8-8.
Yeah,
right?
8-8.
There was that string of years about 5 to 10 years ago where they were 7-9, 8-8, 8-8, 9-7, 8-8, 9-7. They went like the Jason Garrett years.
Yeah, 50-50 team.
They were a 50-50 team.
Yeah.
I think Feinbaum is basically saying, would basically say those Cowboy teams are irrelevant because they're an 8-8 team and not going to do anything. Whereas RG3 would take the position that, but they have the best ratings on Fox and they get numbers on prime time. They both could be right, but it's just what right do you care about more? Do you care about the relevance of the number of people watching, or do you care about the relevance of whether or not they're going to make the playoffs or whether or not they're going to make a bowl game?
Yeah. Well, what happened with Florida, right? Florida caught fire, and everybody was like, "Oh, look at them," and look at what a great job they're doing.
Yeah.
And what they didn't even make the playoffs. They got overlooked. And then you have other teams that go into the playoff system, right? And they get blown out. They show that they have no business there. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good of a team you are. To me, it's all about that hype. How many viewers are you going to pull in? Because those big 4-letter networks always want to bring in that viewership. And you know what? For better or for worse, Colorado brings in that viewership. And that translates into money.
Someone's going to get paid somewhere down the road when it comes to it. Hey, as the New York Post posted earlier yesterday, a bombshell
I saw
in
that.
Sports Talk. Skip Bayless is leaving undisputed this summer, later this summer, leaving FS1. I mean, let's talk about Skip Bayless, right? Think about how different Sports Talk is because of Skip Bayless and people like Stephen A. Smith. And I don't want to get nostalgic because there are people who wax poetic about this, and I hate it when they do this whole holier than thou nonsense where they're like, I remember back in the day when it was the sports reporters and it was Mitch Albom and it was, the Bob Costases of the world and all of those guys, right? They get all high and mighty about it all.
Yeah.
It was media elitist is what it was. And what ended up happening was back in the early 2000s, there was a push towards debate.
Yeah, debate TV.
And the first one I remember seeing was Pardon the Interruption.
Yeah.
Mike Wilbon, Tony Kornheiser. And then he had PTI. Tony Reali took over that show. Tony Reali was a nobody. He was like an intern. They put him in front of the camera, and he went off and did an amazing job. He still does.
It started making that change from somebody just a talking head, like, for example, not to be mean or anything, like Jim Rome and some of these guys from back in the day, where they were they were old talking heads. And then you got into the discussion era, where you had people going back and forth, and it was sports entertainment at its finest, because that's all it is. It's entertainment.
Well, that's what the E stands for in ESPN.
Yeah.
It's Entertainment Sports Programming Network.
Yeah.
So you take a look at what he brought to the table and the fireworks that were created when he joined forces with Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
And they were together for many, many years, and they were just throwing haymakers at each other. Eventually, Stephen A. Smith, I guess, won the war.
The program was dipping in ratings, and Stephen A. Smith has a lot of pull, and he says, gotta let you go, bro.
So Skip goes over to FS1, puts together a show that was even better than what Stephen A. Smith had, because he ended up getting Shay on there, Shannon Sharp, and they did a fantastic job. You had like people like Joy Taylor, and people like that working with Skip Bayless, and Skip Bayless made FS1 something, because before
nobody watched it.
No one watched FS1, and now it's more of a household name because of him.
He even had entertainers, singers like Lil Wayne and some other rappers and singers and stuff come out and talk sports.
But to go out there and criticize, because before he was even on TV, he was an author. He wrote those stories about the Cowboys back in the day, and about the drug house that they had, and about questioning whether or not Troy Aikman was straight or gay, and insinuating certain things. And he he was not the most polite guy in the world. You don't become to be that successful without stepping on people, and he did.
Yeah.
Jim Rome stepped on people along the way as well. Remember Jim Everett?
Call me. What did he say?
Don't call me Chrissy Everett. Don't call me Chris.
Say it one more time. I bet you won't.
Yeah. So the beginning of the end of all this was Shannon Sharp leaving, right, last year, creating his podcast and doing a great job with that. But Skip Bayless is leaving at the end of the year, and he left his mark, man. He left his mark.
He can't. The thing with him is that he never evolved. He just stayed even keel in what he's doing. He never really evolved the show. Which Shannon Sharp, I'm sure they had differences in the direction that they wanted to go. And look at Shannon now. He's seen a lot of success doing Club Shay Shay than he ever did doing FS1, getting a lot more money doing Club Shay Shay.
Getting it directly.
And
getting the middleman out.
Yeah,
and being able to do what you want to do.
And the guests that he's able to get on his show are like top tier and they're entertaining, It was Skip, he's never evolved. And now he's too old and nobody wants to listen to him. Viewership's gone down. And what happens? You have the evolution of what's happening over there at First Take, and they're bringing a different cast of characters on to try to keep that show going. But the evolution of this is the Pat McAfee show. Because that is their highest rated show.
And it's kind of a hybrid of the hot take versus the debate type of thing. The Post says that Bayless was making $8 million a year, and his contract was supposed to run out next year, but he's getting out this summer. Colin Cowherd is also going to be a free agent. His contract with FS1 ends at the end of the football season this upcoming year, so next January or February or so.
I wonder what's going to happen with him. Is he going to go independent and just do it on his own, like YouTube?
Yeah. Now, JHNSB reaches out to us on our YouTube stream and says Mike gets his whole flow from Skip Bayless. And famously, we'll say John Dyer, one of our listeners who was also co-hosting with me a few weeks ago, and our good friend James Pledger from San Antonio Sports Star referred to me as Skip Jimenez or Skip Menez.
Skip Menez. Because
they didn't like some of my tapes, and they said I flip-flopped and all that stuff. I never once modeled anything I did after Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
Or even Stephen A. Smith. Because to be honest with you, I don't even like watching those shows, man. I don't. When I was at San Antonio Sports Star and I was working with consultants, and the consultants were out there, Rob Thompson, all of them, they modeled my show after two people, and it had nothing to do with Skip Bayless. My show was considered to be kind of a hybrid between Colin Cowherd and Dan Le Batard, more like Dan Le Batard than Colin Cowherd. And that's the radio that I like. I love watching the Dan Le Batard show and listening to the Dan Le Batard show. And I think Colin Cowherd is a genius. Those are my favorites. So if I wanted to model myself after anything, it's that. It's just that my takes are my takes. And people think that they're hot takes, but there's legitimacy behind them, dude.
And Overfist says, stop it, Skip. Oh man, Skip Menace, man. I like that too because Pledger says you're the flip flopper. That's what he calls you.
And you know what? I mean, and you know what's so funny is that whenever Pledger flip flops, he goes off and says, "Well, we have new information," and all that. So he can change his mind with new information. Me, it's just a flip flop.
Oh man,
let's get that entertainment bump going.
Sure, we'll go ahead and bring that on right now.
Now, whether people want to believe it or not, I did meet arguably the sexiest woman on the planet last year, Paige Spironic, right?
Yeah.
So I found this to be interesting. Paige Spironic, who, by the way, if you follow her on Twitter, here's what she's got on her page here.
The slow-mo golf shots.
The slow-mo golf shots. She makes millions of dollars. She was a professional golf player.
And what happened? Tell the people the story when you got her picture, right? When you were at the NFL or Super Bowl
Radio Row.
Media Row. What did you do?
The media party. Oh yeah. So Paige Spironic was there, and we had a bet going on between me, Rudy J, Minix, Rob Thompson, and Joe Bryant, who could get a selfie or a photo with the most famous person there. And Rudy J is like, dude, I got Adam Schefter. He was like, I got Josina Anderson and all them. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And I'm looking over, and I see this blonde woman who was dressed relatively conservatively. And I'm thinking to myself, man, this girl's a nugget, a top tier nugget. And I'm thinking to myself, she's a reporter from some station or whatnot.
Yeah.
And we're standing, and I'm looking over her. We're watching this show, this presentation going on, and I'm looking over, and I'm like, that can't be Paige Sporonic. So finally, I go online, and I go onto her social media, and I find out that she's actually in Phoenix for Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that could be her. So I went up to her. I just went up to her and I said, "Hi, my name is Michael." I said, "Are you Paige?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'm Paige." And she introduced herself, shook my hand, all that stuff. And I said, "Would you be okay if I got a photo with you?"
Mm-hmm.
At this point, Rob Thompson looks over, sees me with Paige Sporonic, and his eyes bug out. Now Paige goes, "Well, I don't mind, but would you mind if I let one of my people take the photo? And would you mind if I choose which one you post?"
Yeah.
I don't mind because, she's like letting me take more than one shot. I have my arm around her. The curvature on that was amazing. I'm not doing anything bad, but she's a curvy chick, so it just is what it is. And so I'm like, okay, I'll sit here and take a photo with you for 30 seconds when it should have been just a 2-second selfie photo.
Yeah.
I'm essentially like my arm around her for like 30 seconds or so. She gave a hug. She said thank you. She looked at the photo, says, "I'd rather you post this one. I like this one the best one. I hearted it, favored it." And she was really nice. So Paige Sporonic, I ended up winning the bet on that one. Going away. When I texted to everybody, Rob saw it. Rob saw me do it. When I texted everybody else, everyone was like, "Oh, game over. Who's going to beat Paige?" But Paige is a smoke show, and she was going after this girl on Twitter last night. Does she look familiar?
A little bit.
Apparently, some people think this is Paige Sporonic.
It's not.
And this is a doppelganger. Paige Sporonic tweeted out there saying, "Someone sent me this picture that someone an impersonator sent her. This is honestly so scary." They took a screenshot of a video I did a couple of years ago holding a head cover and Photoshop to sign in PSAs, everyone claiming. So she's saying that people are AIing her, and then people are also taking the signs that she's doing and changing what is being said and all that stuff. So kind of funny. She's saying, the deep fakes is what's going on with Paige Sporonic. Found that to be interesting. So let's talk about the assassination attempt on Trump the other day.
Yeah.
Didn't kill him. Killed someone in the stands.
A father protecting his family, man.
Mm-hmm. People making fun of one of the senators yesterday on the RNC convention floor, saying that God wanted Trump to live and that's why he survived. And people are like, well, does that mean that God wanted that other guy to die? It's a weird thing, man. Weird thing to say. But Tenacious D, you know who Tenacious D is, right? It's a rock group.
Yep, I remember that with Jack Black.
Head by Jack Black, right? The actor and comedian. Well, Jack Black is canceling the rest of his tour because of what happened last night in Australia. He was performing, and one of the band members named Kyle Gass took to the mic and basically said that, I don't have the exact quote, but basically said, "We'll get him next time."
Oh, he should. No, he said something to the effect that he shouldn't have missed.
Shouldn't have missed. Basically saying that he wishes that Trump was dead.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's going to happen at that point. Jack Black cannot go on a concert tour of the United States after his bandmate said that. It was not Jack Black who said that. It was a bandmate.
A drummer. It was a drummer.
Yeah, and Jack Black came out and said, "We're going to have to cancel the rest of the tour." He goes, "I do not condone this. I don't encourage political violence in any form." And he says, "I was caught off guard by all this." He never would have given the mic to a bandmate to say that.
Yeah. Well, Jack Black has a lot at stake here because it goes to show you just how precarious it is to navigate today's waters, right? Mm-hmm. Because everything's up for debate, right, on social media. So they can grab something, and even though he might have said it, he's still part of his group.
Now, do you think Jack Black is going to be blackballed or canceled by part of the community?
No.
I think he is.
I don't think he will, because he came out and said, "Look, we're going to do this," because right now he's doing PR work, right? I don't know if his PR people told him this is what needs to happen in order for you to save your image, because let's face it, Jack Black comes out in a lot of movies. Either he's doing voiceover work, making cameos, coming out on TV shows, talk shows, something. He's always in the public eye. this is bad for business because
Right.
this affects his bottom line.
Now, he was supposed to perform in October in Ohio, Indiana, and Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, which is where the shooting took place over the weekend.
That drummer cost him money.
Cost him money, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. But I look at it this way. I think there are going to be some people who are Trump supporters who are going to be like, well, if that's his drummer, then he's got to feel the same way, and therefore we're going to go after him. Much like they got after Alec Baldwin, right? Alec Baldwin, who, by the way, was charges dropped last week and cannot be retried again. Did you see that? Did you see what happened with Alec Baldwin last weekend?
Oh, dude, I saw that. That case got dismissed outright. And it was funny because I was talking with my wife about this because we were watching the news and she's like, why is he on trial? And I said, he's on trial because they're trying to go ahead and pull his name through the mud. I said, because they're looking for someone to take the blame. I said, but ultimately it wasn't his fault because he was given this prop that was supposed to not have any live ammunition. It's not his fault.
It was a political hit.
Exactly.
Is all that it was. And it was basically, you have one prosecutor who's trying to make her party get excited about her by going after that Hollywood elite, right?
Yeah.
And then it turns out she was hiding evidence.
Yeah.
And she was
major evidence.
mismarking major evidence
Yeah.
and not giving it to the defense. And the defense was like, we're supposed to have, there's no such thing as a surprise witness or surprise evidence.
Yep.
We're supposed to know all about this.
Both sides have to have the same information.
And she is going to get ripped. And they were saying that this came to a head when her assistant prosecutors were resigning out of nowhere.
They didn't know until they found out. Then they're like, we're getting out.
Well,
of here,
a couple
dude.
of them did know beforehand, and they were like, we're peace out.
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and get out. But Alec Baldwin essentially found not guilty. It was just cases, charges
Dismissed.
dropped.
Yeah.
Now, tonight, you and I, baby, you and me.
Twisters.
Is that what it's called?
Twisters. Yeah, the sequel to Twister is called Twisters. So we'll be at the Palladium. And we're going to check that out. We're going to be going in as members of the media, So we're going to sit in our nice little media area there. We don't have to wait outside with the peasants,
Mm-hmm.
You just go right up. And I know the people there. I've gone to a lot of these things. So they just let us right on in. You just sit down in a nice comfy chair and you get to watch it,
So this is going to start Glenn Powell.
Yeah.
And Glenn Powell was in a movie with Sydney Sweeney earlier this year. I see Glenn Powell everywhere these days. Where the hell did he come from? He's 35 years old. He's from Austin, right?
Yeah.
He's a former UT student, right? But where did he come from? I'm like, how is he everywhere now? Like there was a time when Chris Evans was everywhere.
Yeah.
And there was a time when Hemsworth was everywhere. Then Momoa was everywhere. Right now is Glenn Powell's era. He has taken the torch from all these people. And he's in everything these days. And I don't know one thing that I've ever seen that he's been in.
Yeah.
Does that make me old? Or am I just out of touch? What is going on with all this?
I don't know, man. Maybe he's just one of these actors that's just catching fire now. He's coming out in some movies that have gotten a little popular.
Okay, so most recently he was in Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
Right? So he was up on that, right? He was in a movie called Devotion, a movie called Hitman. He's doing a documentary called The Blue Angels, Twisters. He was in Hidden Figures, which was a big movie a few years ago. He was in Ride Along 2. So he's had minor roles or decent roles. Expendables 3.
Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises. But these small roles, but suddenly he just blew up and is now like hamming it up with Sydney Sweeney.
Hey, man.
Anyone But You was that movie that he was in with her.
Anybody would die to be in that situation.
There you go.
Come on, And look, Seth says never seen Top Gun, and no, he says he was in Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, Glenn Powell was in Spy Kids 3.0.
Damn, I didn't know that.
I mean, dude, the guy is a rock star right now.
Yeah,
and I don't get it.
Look at this Hanover Fist. Weird flex, but okay, because I said we're gonna be watching the movie as members of the media. I'm like, all right. I mean, you could go for free if you want, but you just got to get there 2 hours early.
Hey, you want to go to the Spurs Club first because it's right there, right at Palladium.
Hey, we should do that.
Oh my goodness!
Pre-game it.
Pre-game. We're gonna pre-game at Spurs Club.
Pre-game Spurs Club.
Haven't been there in 2 weeks.
There you go.
I have to pay my dues on the first of the month.
I got to wear a jacket, a blazer.
Now Jesse A saying he did a little more than ham it up with Sydney. That was the whole thing where she was like the rumors that that there was a real couple thing going on.
Yeah.
But I think Sydney Sweeney's dude was like the director of the movie that they're in, and she was like, "How am I cheating on my husband when I'm doing the movie with my husband?"
Yeah. Who is she dating now? She's rumored to be with somebody else.
Or I don't know if it's boyfriend or husband or fiance or whatever the case may be. But Sydney Sweeney gonna turn 27 years old this month, or next month rather.
I know Leija is always calling her Midney.
Yeah, dude. It sounds worse and worse by the day.
He does not have any love for her at all.
It sounds worse and worse by the day.
I mean, she's a beautiful girl, man. Like, she looks good.
I mean, she's amazing. She's very, very talented at what she does.
I'll be at the club.
Hey, I'm allowed 7 guests.
So he's a cuckold, is what Seth is saying.
Oh, shut up, man.
Oh, man. You know, I was watching the WWE Raw last night, right? So I was just watching here and there because I was doing work and stuff like that too. And this storyline that they have. So they have this guy, right? Dirty Dom, right? Which is Rey Mysterio's son, Dirty Dom. This dude's living his best life, man. He's got 2 hot girls fighting over him. He's got this one girl, Liv Morgan, that's just giving him the business because his girl, mommy, Rhea Ripley, she had a shoulder injury, so she was out. So the way that they spin these storylines, it's hilarious, dude. So now you knew that this was going to come to a head. So Dom gets in this precarious situation with Liv. She winds up being on top of him, and then of course his girlfriend comes out, and the Liv Morgan just takes off running, right? But they're going to be fighting at SummerSlam. You knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, but it's stuff like that that's funny because I remember when Dom was a kid, when they had, what's his name? Eddie Guerrero. They had a fight. I think it was Rey Mysterio too. And their hype was, who's Dom's daddy? You know, I'm just like, come on, dude.
Dude, Eddie Guerrero was something else, man.
He was.
I mean,
man.
that was a showman right there, low rider and everything when it came to him. I'm reading right now on TMZ that the RNC changed the Secret Service detail for Trump yesterday. No female agents. You see all the criticism the female agents had during the shooting, during the assassination attempt?
Yeah, man.
I felt bad, man. One of the ladies was having a hard time putting her gun in the holster. The other one seemed to be losing her mind. It was bad.
That's a lot of stuff going on, man.
It was bad.
And speaking of, I was watching the Republic convention, right? Because they had it all over TV yesterday. And I got to tell you, man, they do a good job of including the crowd as part of the show because they make it a point to show how everybody's having a good time. They had like a conga line with people holding signs up. They had all the people, and the cameras kept panning out into the crowd, and they were showing them on the jumbotron and all that. I'm like, I was telling my wife, I said, they're doing a very good job of inclusion. Like they're including everybody, you know, at this convention. So I was like, it was a great, I guess not. It was a great production as far as what they did, you know?
I mean, it's like the Grammys. It's like the political Grammys
and all that,
like the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
Trump's doctor article that just got released this morning on TMZ.com. Trump's doctor says that no surgery is needed for Trump because his upper ear was blown completely off. So let me ask you this question.
Yeah,
Joe, let me ask you this question here. Which would you have rather have had happen to you? Piece of your ear shot off or part of your ear bitten off like Mike Tyson to Evander Holyfield?
Shot off, it gives you more street cred, man. I'm bulletproof.
Being bitten off?
Yeah, I mean, I think being shot off like that gives you more street cred, man. So Trump's got a street cred going on.
No, dude,
now.
It's so funny, man. It's so funny.
And what did they say? They made fun of him, right? They said, look, he's been a convicted felon.
Well,
he's been shot.
The problem that you have with all that is that you see reputable organizations like Forbes and Wall Street Journal, which you can tell are written by the most elite white people in the world, coming out there saying, I wonder if black voters are going to swing for Trump because of the felonies and all that stuff. That is the most racist take in politics to have. To say that he has street cred and therefore he's going, the people are going to be serious about it.
Yeah.
It's one thing for you and me to joke about it on a podcast.
Yeah.
They are literally writing articles and columns
they're going
on
with.
the Wall Street Journal and on Forbes and on
my goodness.
Moneyline and all these stuff with these theories that, you know what, that's exactly what black people want, right? That's exactly because that's in their mind is what a black person is. It's stupid.
You know who has?
It is stupid.
You know who has a good take when it comes to that? Rudy J, dude. Rudy J always has something like insightful to say.
He does
about these situations.
Now, Rudy J has a great voice. I gotta tell you what happened the other day. I was over. I was in the drive-thru. I think it was in Chick-fil-A or something.
Yeah.
And this guy goes, "That'll be $9." Oh, you know what it was? I was at the Missions game. I was paying tickets.
Oh, okay.
I was paying for parking.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, "That'll be $10." I was like, "Here you go." And I like lowered my voice to match his lowered voice.
Can't do it, man.
I was like, why am I doing that? I was driving away going, what the hell did I just do?
Jeez. I got to tell you, man, I just saw right now they have this new promo that came out that they're putting up on social media right now for Deadpool and Wolverine. That's the next movie that the family wants to see. It looks funny as heck. They're going to come out on July 26th.
Little Mac asked the question, who's hotter, Margot Robbie in Wolf of Wall Street or Salma Hayek in From Dusk Till Dawn?
That's a good one, man.
Okay, first of all, the answer will be Salma Hayek, right? I'm not going to lose
Margot
Mexican
Robbie's
points
still
on that.
looking like a dime, dude.
But dude, Margot Robbie in Wolf of Wall Street was a dime. I mean, she was a 1-1-1 seed. And as much as I think that Sydney Sweeney's hot, she has nothing on Margot Robbie in 2013.
Yeah.
Nothing. Then again, Salma Hayek of 2024 has nothing on Margot Robbie of 2013 either.
But Salma Hayek, you see her now, she's still hot, dude.
She's still hot, but her face is getting old because she's getting old. She's 58, dude. I mean,
she's still hot though, man.
She is hot. I mean, 58. Yeah, she has a 50 face and a 20 body, dude. I mean, it just is what it is. Not a 20 body. It's a 35-year-old body.
She still look good though.
You doesn't look good, Bronny James.
No.
Let's bookend it by talking about Bronny. I didn't get your take on Bronny James because I'm of the impression that I don't give two flying Fs if he goes out there
about
and fails.
Bronny.
He decided to get out of college basketball early. He decided to go into the transfer portal and not do anything about it. He decided to enter the draft. He decided to go to the combine. He decided to play along with his dad's charades and get drafted number 55 in the draft. He also decided not to work out for any other team.
Yeah.
He also decided to go along with the idea that he was going to go to Australia and play elsewhere. Any other team drafted him. He did all that, got rewarded with a 4-year, $7.6 million contract, a contract that nobody in the second round gets like that. For no production, goes out there when he's shooting 0%, 0 for 50. Dude, you and I could have shot the same percentage as Bronny James because he made none out of 15. I bet you out of those 15, you and I could have made one. That dude airballed every single one of them yesterday. First two, he airballed badly. Shooting 22% from the field, just 4%, just 4 points per game in like 25 minutes per game in a summer league game. The guy does not belong in the NBA, but he's going to be on part of the roster because they're paying him as such. He doesn't even belong in the G League. And now he can't go back to college. His dad, LeBron James, who I've been a big old supporter of, and I've applauded him for many, many years, just royally screwed his son over, man.
I don't know, man. I mean, he's going to get his money.
Well, I mean, if daddy has hundreds of millions of dollars, does it matter if I get one?
Well, it's like this. I like what Shaq had said one time when they asked him about his kids. And he's like, my kids, he goes, I did what I had to do as a father, raise them, made sure that they had food on the table, make sure that they had a roof over their head. He goes, but this money that I worked for, this is my money. He goes, when they're of age, they got to work because they got to earn their own place in this world, you know? And I think just because LeBron James has a nest egg doesn't mean that it belongs to his boy.
Yeah, right.
His boy has to forge his own path.
Well, I mean, his boy will always be rich, man.
You know?
He will always be rich. Now, ESPN's reporting right now that Boston Celtics star Jaylen Brown, who was kind of critical, you're reading lips about Bronny, has phoned his teammate Derek White to make sure that there's no confusion after he was critical of Team USA choosing Derek White instead of him. Jaylen Brown, Finals MVP, one of the best players in the league, third team All NBA, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Upset that his teammate, not upset that Derek White got there, upset that he didn't get picked, but the person who got picked was his teammate.
Yeah. And we had something else here too that I wanted to show that I just saw right now. So this is the latest that we have on the Lauri Markkanen news. So the Utah Jazz, it's rumored, would want Braden Podziemski first 3-round picks, 3 or 4 unprotected pick swaps, and 3 or 4 second-round picks in a potential deal for Lauri Markkanen per Shams Charania. At this point, it's kind of like saying, I don't think the Jazz want to move, Lauri Markkanen, but if Golden State Warriors put in Podziemski, and from what I've told, 3 first-round picks, 3 or 4 unprotected pick swaps, 3 or 4 second-round picks, maybe that can entice, because I think these pick swaps could mean something years down the line, because Golden State, at some point, they're going to enter that, they're going to hit that reset button, and be the way of the Spurs. So
those swaps are interesting because
they could be interesting. Yeah.
You look at the swap, you're allowing a team to still maintain a first-round draft pick, and that swap may or may not happen, but it's just the idea that it could happen. And we're seeing that right now with the 2025 in 2026 rather, because the Spurs have Atlanta's 2025 unprotected pick this year, but we have a swap with them in 2026. We have a swap with the Celtics, I believe, in 28. We have a swap with the Dallas Mavericks and Sacramento Kings and Minnesota Timberwolves in 30 and 31. 2 in 1 year, 1 in the other. The Spurs could be finding themselves constantly in the lottery, even with a winning team. And if you take a look at it, it's happened back in the day. The Lakers were a winning team, and they got Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
When the Spurs were a winning team, and they got Tim Duncan.
Oh, at the time they were tanking.
At the time they were tanking, but it was still an established team. So it's interesting to see that this has become a big deal, because back in the day, doing a swap was not really a thing. It's just become really a thing the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah. And the Spurs have gotten really good at it. Oklahoma City has gotten really good at it. So if Danny Ainge thinks that he's going to get 3 first-rounders, a couple of good players, and
pick swaps,
4 swaps, and 3 or 4 second-rounders, he's out of his freaking mind.
For Lauri Markkanen.
Because Lauri Markkanen, if he is not extended, the leverage goes the other way, because then you have the trade deadline in February.
Yeah.
And it could be like, dude, here's a first-round draft pick. Just go away.
Well, Lauri Markkanen, I think with all the buzz that's been surrounding him, maybe he goes and tries free agency to see if he can get something else done.
Well, Vane Stain asking the question, so is Brian Wright a good GM now? Well, he's proving that he's not a sucker. I mean, if that is what is being asked, he's proven that he's not a sucker. And I think that we need to have a conversation tomorrow, Joe, and remind me about this. And we can begin the conversation right now about Keldon Johnson.
Yeah.
We were all under the impression that Keldon Johnson was gone, right? The Spurs were going to pull a trade, Trae Young, Lauri Markkanen. We were going to go out and get somebody, and that Keldon Johnson was going to be gone. The only thing different about Keldon this year is going to be his jersey number, because he's going to give up that 3 to Chris Paul.
We'll see, man. That's the rumor is, that's what's going to happen.
And it's going to happen.
What number is Keldon going to wear?
Can't be 13, because that's James Silas's number.
Can't wear 33, because that's Trey Jones, isn't it?
But we need to ask a question. What do we expect of Keldon Johnson this year? Because with the coming along of Stephon Castle might be the point guard of the future, but he ain't going to be the point guard this year.
No, not this year.
So like SGA, we saw that last year. We talked about that, about how yesterday's show, we talked about how when SGA played with CP3, he played as the 2 guard. So maybe Keldon is going to come off the bench, but exactly how does he fit in the equation of what's being done? Is he the odd man out? We were talking about that Trey Jones might be the odd man out, and Blake Wesley might be the odd man out. But when you look at the Spurs maybe getting Mamu back, when you see the Spurs maybe getting Champagnie back, what is Keldon Johnson's real future with this team? And is he going to get run? Is he going to get any minutes next year?
He will get run. He will get minutes. But the thing with Keldon is that Keldon's got to also ask himself, if he thinks he's the caliber of player, which I believe he believes in himself, he wants more playing time. And right now, the way that the Spurs are constructed, he's going to be coming off that bench and playing with that second unit. I believe he wants to go ahead and have a bigger role, and that might mean he might have to go and tell the Spurs he wants to be traded, they could get him to another team where he can have a bigger role there, bigger impact.
I mean, he averaged 22 points per game the year before Wemby arrived. Last year, averaged 15.7, but his minutes dropped from 33 to 29.
And with the Spurs foreseeably going to be in the lottery again with pick swaps and whatnot, Keldon's job is in jeopardy right now.
Chris Gonzalez asking the question about how teams protect their numbers of protection. It's negotiated. Like right now, Chicago's pick that the Spurs have is top 10 protected. Charlotte's is top 14 protected. The Spurs picked up a pick from, what was it, Minnesota?
Yeah. In that trade.
Mm-hmm. And guess what? It's protected top 1. Just one. Just one. If it comes in number 2 or 3, Spurs got it.
And look at D'Lo. He is, man, I really wanted Reed Shepherd. And you know what? That's a thing that everybody's been talking about over at the Summer League. You talk to these players and they're like, hey, who stands out to you? And they're all, hey, Reed Shepherd.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, I'm happy with what we got in Stephon Castle because Stephon Castle fits a need right now. But what's going to end up happening is, and this is where a lot of Spurs fans are going to get kind of pissed off.
Look at JHNSB.
How is Devin's job not in jeopardy? It's in jeopardy if he's hurt. That's basically it. But let's show my screen real fast. This is courtesy of ESPN. This is the Summer League games.
I like this move.
Matas Buzelis, who the Spurs passed on.
Matalo.
Remember, we were talking about this guy, right? He is balling out at the Summer League. Let's take a look at what he's doing. This is where Spurs fans might have some heartburn because the Spurs picked up a swap in 2030 and 2031 by getting rid of the number 8 pick. And no, they did not draft Dillingham. They chose Dillingham for a different team.
Yeah, they chose for the Timberwolves.
So Matas Buzelis was considered to be a top 5 talent. He dropped all the way to like 12.
Yeah.
And he got picked up by Chicago. And look what he's doing in Summer League.
He's balling out, dude.
Just balling out. He had this one dunk where he stared down the guy like he was Sean Kemp.
No,
that was it. Now look at him just sit there and stare at him.
Yeah.
Just stared him down.
Get off me.
So if Buzelis turns out to be an all-star or a star player, a stud player, that's where Spurs fans are going to be like,
some nasty in him, dude. I like him.
He had 28 points, dude. He had 28 points. Step back 3, dunking the ball, playing some defense, coming from the G League Ignite. This might be the player that Spurs fans get upset about.
Bam.
Because we think about who are other players that the Spurs have passed up on in recent years. We passed up on Alperen Şengün in order to get Josh Primo.
Look at Jay.
We passed up on Jalen Williams to get Jeremy Sohan.
JHNSB says we look stupid for not picking a player. Is that he is getting buckets on garbage minutes though? Hey, Summer League, man.
It's Summer League, baby.
Yeah.
It's Little Max saying it's Summer League, fellas.
Exactly. It's Summer League, and these players look good in Summer League because they're playing up against not top level talent, not top tier talent. These are like G League level players or below. And some of these players are going to shine, but when they get to the NBA level and the game speeds up and they're playing against a plethora of player, they kind of show who they really are.
And that's what Van Stain is kind of saying. He goes, he would never have had that chance with what we have on this roster.
Yeah.
But still, there's going to be somebody that balls out between 8 and 15, 8 and 20, that Spurs fans are going to look back and go, you see, Brian Wright, you should have gotten that guy. You should have gotten that guy. Jalen Williams. You should have gotten Tyrese Maxey. He fell all the way to the 20s. You should have gotten that guy.
Oh, this is going to be great. Jesse A. Waiting for that Fernandez and Bronny pick.
You know what's going to happen.
He could make it happen, dude. He always seems to be in the right place at the right time.
The baseball all-star game is coming up. The odds of winning the MVP, Ohtani at 8-1, Aaron Judge at 9.5-1, Harper at 11-1. And you know what, Joe? Don't give 2 craps. You know why? It's baseball.
I like baseball,
it's
man.
Just baseball, dude.
Hey, look,
and I'm going to go to an Astros game in the next week or so. I've never been a Minute Maid.
You going to take your trash can?
Yeah.
Don't tell that to Pledger, dude.
That means fastball.
Don't tell that to Pledger.
Astros fans get salty when it comes to it.
Pledger gets mad.
They cheated.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that they did, but you know what? Other teams cheated as well.
Chris
so I guess
Leija's
it's okay.
an Astros fan. He gets mad when we bring that up. Everyone cheats. I'm like, but y'all got caught too.
They
doing
hate
it.
us because they ain't us. But I've never been to Minute Maid Park, man. So I'm excited about
It's
that.
small.
They're playing the Dodgers.
It's tiny.
Dude, ticket prices are expensive. I
Yeah,
remember
it's a tiny park.
I
dude.
remember baseball tickets being cheap.
No, not anymore. Dude.
I was looking at it, I was like $200
Well,
a
the
ticket.
Astros they have a better team now, so the ticket prices are going to be a little bit
And
more.
they are playing the Dodgers, and you know,
Yeah.
Mexicanos love the Dodgers, man.
Yeah.
Los Dodgers.
Yeah. Look at what Tim says though. He was saying that it's going to be SEC Media Day tomorrow for the Texas Longhorns, and he says, "So Mike and Joe, how will Texas look in the SEC?"
Well, Quinn Ewers is a stud, man. Quinn Ewers is such a good quarterback, and Georgia's going into UT. I think in week 2. Texas's schedule. Do they have a team that could actually win the national championship? They do, but the fact of the matter is their schedule's so tough, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have to bring Johnny Walker and talk about what are the expectations.
I've spoken to him. Look at this. This is who they've got going on this year. Texas's lineup. Their football schedule.
OU.
They've got. I mean, OU is now that's going to be
The Red River Shootout.
The Red River Shootout, man.
Yeah.
It continues. But they've got Mississippi State. They've got Michigan, dude. They got the national champions coming on in. So they got Michigan next year. I think they got Georgia.
I can't stand OU, dude. It's like what 11:33, and OU still sucks.
Season starts home against Colorado State. Then they're on the road in Ann Arbor against Michigan. They come home to play the UTSA Roadrunners on the 14th. ULM on the 21st. Mississippi State. Then it gets rough. Oklahoma, and then Georgia. Look at that, back-to-back weeks. Oklahoma and Georgia.
Yeah.
Then they got Vandy, Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky, and then they end the end of November against Texas A&M in College Station. So
That's going to be a good game.
So they're at College Station. They're taking on Georgia. They have Oklahoma, and they're on the road at Michigan. If you think that Texas is going to go 11-1 and go to the national championship, no, they're not.
They're going against.
It's too tough of a schedule.
They're going to play UTSA.
Hey, man, UTSA held tight for about 2.5 quarters last time over there at DKR.
They gave people false hope, man.
That's it, baby. That's it. It is our time to go. Thank you again for helping us get to 1,000 subscribers. We were at 1,006 before the show started. Let's see if we picked up one during the show. Let's see.
Oh, Chris Gonzalez is saying Texas going 8-4 this year.
Oh, we got a congratulations, Joe.
Yeah.
I typed into YouTube Studio. It says you're now officially a YouTube sponsor, YouTube partner.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
First check coming on in.
Yep. I saw that. So I had accepted, Yeah. So we can get monetized now with videos that get played during our replays when people are watching our videos, either long form or the shorts as well.
Keep it, dude. Keep the money.
We're putting it back into
that's what
we're doing here.
I know you
need a microphone.
I know
that little lapel or that little
the lavalier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very nice. We'll do that, baby. We'll do that. Hey, we will be back tomorrow. Everyone have a fantastic day. Be safe on the roads. We'll be back tomorrow.
All right.
Spurs go.
See you guys. Peace.